Number 10. Tara Reid. An it girl from the 90s to the early 2000s, Tara Reid was a highly sought-after actor, often filling the roles of the beautiful girl next door. After amassing huge success in highly popular films such as The Big Lebowski and American Pie, she all but disappeared from the big screen after 2 botched surgeries in 2004. She went in for liposuction and a breast augmentation, but neither was successful. The procedure left her disfigured, with rippled skin and a massive hernia that forced her to hide her body and pass over movie roles. Despite knowing something was off, she lived on in shame and discomfort for 6 months, following her doctor's assurances that it would get better. To make matters worse, she suffered from a highly publicized wardrobe malfunction in which her breasts and its unsightly scars were exposed. Reid's surgery mishaps were extensively featured in the media, and she eventually went under the knife again in 2006 to remedy the past wrongdoings. However, the emotional and physical damage was done. Reid bounced back in 2013 with the surprising popularity of the Sharknado franchise that went on to have 3 sequels. Number 9. Joan Rivers. One celebrity that was open and honest about all the work she had done was Joan Rivers. She started making adjustments to her face in college when she had her nose shaved thinner. She was known for her self-deprecating humor and reached international fame as a comedian for making fun of fellow celebrities. But she was also known for her face and its constant evolution of different shapes and proportions. Rivers' face crept past the phase of plastic and teetered on puffy when she unfortunately died at age 81 in a botched routine surgery on her throat. In a memoir written by her daughter after her death, it was revealed that she'd had a total of 348 procedures that stemmed from constant dissatisfaction with her looks and a sense of being less than. Number 8. Farrah Abraham. Plastic surgery frequenter Farrah Abraham had the shock of her life after a botched lip injection. Right from the start, she knew something was off when the anesthesia didn't work and she could feel every painful prick. After suffering what was clearly a bad reaction, her upper lip puffed up and distorted her face. She spent the night in hospital, but the ordeal far from changed her opinion on plastic surgery, which she regards as one of her passions. The reality star posted pictures of her swollen face and lips across her social media to cause a laugh and to bring attention to the potential complications that could happen to anybody. Although the ordeal was frightening, she is still a proponent of cosmetic and plastic surgery and intends to pursue a job in the industry. Since 2012, she's had a rhinoplasty, a chin implant, lip work, and 2 breast augmentation operations, but admits she'll probably stick to fillers in the future. Number 7. Mickey Rourke. In the early 1980s, Mickey Rourke was a young rising star in Hollywood, twice winning awards for Best Supporting Actor. With soft, feminine features combined somehow with a rugged manliness, he was compared to heartthrobs James Dean and Marlon Brando. The actor was always open about his unease with fame and, in the early 1990s, quit acting to become a professional boxer. By 1994, he was so battered and broken that he quit and returned to Hollywood. Changes in his appearance did not go unnoticed, and the rumor mill churned as strong as ever. Despite evidently engorged cheeks, Rourke denied claims of plastic surgery. Then in 2009, he came clean and admitted to going under the knife, but as a necessity to put his face back together after his short-lived boxing career. But the foray into plastic surgery didn't stop, and his appearance continued to change until he became practically unrecognizable. He has remained tight-lipped about any procedures, but doctor and hair transplant surgeon Hala Elgmati provided her professional take. In her opinion, although overdone, the work done had not been botched. With absolutely no lines marking his forehead, she strongly believed the Botox work probably caused permanent paralysis of the muscles. In addition, she saw signs of lip, chin, and cheek injections, as well as at least 1 neck and facelift. Dr. Elgmati wasn't the only person to call his new look jarring when considering the extreme changes in the proportion and ratio of his facial features. Number 6. Burt Reynolds. A name often found on doctors' lists of the most disastrous plastic surgeries is that of Burt Reynolds. Reynolds was a Hollywood superstar in the 1970s and 1980s. Known for his rugged good looks and statement moustache, he was a sex symbol and American icon, titles which he presumably hoped to hold on to with a little enhancement. Burt Reynolds always denied getting significant work done, but as his body aged and wrinkled, his face did not. After a public appearance at a party in 2012, his face appeared so pulled back and stretched that another partygoer described it as looking painful. Reynolds did admit to one operation on his eyes, which left them looking sunken and drawn in. Celebrity plastic surgeon Alex Cardis theorized that the tight, plastic appearance of his face was most likely due to getting a facelift with incredibly sun-damaged skin. Sadly, Reynolds passed away from a heart attack in 2018. Number 5. Jocelyn Wildenstein. American socialite Jocelyn Wildenstein has acquired what can be best described as a unique look, but has denied ever going under the knife. Despite her claims that her high cheekbones come from her Swiss heritage, plastic surgeon experts around the world disagree. The media often refer to her as Catwoman and speculate that she spent upwards of $5 million to achieve the final look in a reported bid to win her ex-husband back. She ultimately got engaged to fashion designer Lloyd Klein, who fully backed her up, claiming she has always looked the way she did and got compared to Brigitte Bardot constantly. Coincidentally, Lloyd's face also changed ever so slightly since the pair had met. Wildenstein's ex-husband, who died in 2008, was outspoken about her procedures, but she boiled it down to a smear campaign as a result of their bitter divorce. Regardless of the truth, Jocelyn reportedly found peace by accepting she had nothing to prove, leaving the public to come to its own conclusions. Number 4. The Bogdanov Twins. Despite their appearance in later years, the Bogdanov Twins entered the small screen in the 1970s as boyishly handsome heartthrobs. They were massively popular TV presenters with their own science fiction series. They reportedly underwent their first procedure in the early 1990s, and it looks like they haven't stopped since. Although they've never come out forthright with denial or confirmation, it's believed they have had chin and cheek implants as well as multiple rounds of Botox and fillers. Some loyal fans defend the pair and suggest the disparity in their look is due to a hormonal disorder called acromegaly, which has caused the bones in their face to enlarge. Number 3. Priscilla Presley. Priscilla Presley was the victim of a botched cosmetic procedure performed by an unqualified doctor. The man in question was Daniel Serrano, popular among celebrities for throwing lavish injection parties at $500 per dose. He claimed his injections were better than Botox, but in fact, they were filled with low-grade industrial silicone, used primarily on auto parts. The injection caused the off-putting changes in Priscilla's face and caused lumps, holes, and paralysis in some fellow victims. She went to get more corrective surgeries to try and remove and replenish what had been lost. The Argentinian doctor wasn't even licensed to practice medicine in the States and was found guilty of conspiracy, smuggling, and use of unapproved drugs. He served 18 months in a federal prison before being deported. Today's topic was requested by Max Lewis. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 2. Jennifer Grey. Jennifer Grey became a prominent name in Hollywood after starring opposite Patrick Swayze in the classic film Dirty Dancing. However, following the success of the movie, Grey underwent 2 rhinoplasties that effectively ended her career. The second surgery was corrective to fix problems left by the first, but nonetheless, the results were surprisingly drastic and even close friends failed to recognize her. In her own words, she went into the operating room a celebrity and came out anonymous, claiming it was the nose job from hell. I'll always be this once famous actress nobody recognizes because of a nose job. No longer sporting the same face, she was severed from her past acting accomplishments in Dirty Dancing and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, only appearing in supporting roles or box office flops in its wake. Grey considered changing her name in an effort to relaunch her career, but ultimately decided against it. Despite losing her chance at A-list celebrity status, Grey never fully disappeared and went on to win season 11 of Dancing with the Stars in 2010. Number 1. Pete Burns. Coming from a childhood of trauma and isolation, Pete Burns, the frontman of popular 1980s band Dead or Alive, turned to plastic surgery in the face of fame. His very first procedure, a nose job, left it too crooked to even support sunglasses. Yet he wasn't put off. He continued to have over 300 more procedures with varying amounts of success. Although he was able to drastically change his appearance as he'd intended, he had to pay in spades with his health. In 2002, he suffered another botched procedure, this time with lip fillers. His lips swelled up 18 inches and caused an infection that left him with holes in the skin, which would seep yellow pus. As the infection worsened and spread around his body, the permanent lip fillers spread around his face. The huge amount of medication he was on further wrought havoc on his immune system and caused near-fatal blood clots and embolisms, hospitalizing him for 10 days. He sued the doctor and won over $600,000, but over the next 2 years, it all had to be filtered back into over 200 corrective procedures. Pete's mental health also took a toll from the traumatic experiences, and in the following years, he struggled. By 2014, he had spent his fortune on plastic surgery and had to file for bankruptcy. 1 month before his death, in 2016, he appeared on Channel 5's Celebrity Botched Up Bodies and talked openly about his relationship with plastic surgery. Referring to himself as Frankenstein, he likened getting surgery to buying a new sofa and admitted every inch of his body had gone under the knife except the soles of his feet. Whether to be taken humorously or as a tragic summarization of his suffering, he stated, "I hope when I'm 80 that I get to heaven. God doesn't recognize me." He passed away at the age of 57. Thanks for watching. Would you rather use one of these celebrity surgeons or become an embarrassing viral meme? Let us know in the comments section below.